Today is February 15th, 2023, at 7 o'clock, 7:02. This is the work session for the zoning commission for Nimishillen Township. I'm Regan Starkey, the chairman. Larry Marks, vice chairman, is here. Herb Klebaum is here. Brent Hunter's here. Rich Linder's here. Our alternate, Tony Marco, is here. And our zoning inspector, Jeff Shipman, is here. We are going to cruise right into this without any further ado. It was brought to my attention that the first 12 pages, we have one change that we said was fine, and we have to go back and figure it out real quick, and then we can start on page, I think it was 13, right at the beginning of 13. But on page 10, guys, the definition of, I can't use that as a definition. I just figured that out. The definition of developmental disability. It's two times in there, it refers to mental retardation. We're not allowed to use that anymore. So, did someone come up with something other than developmental disability that states that?
That sounds politically correct when you say it like that out loud, other than mental retard, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Developmentally, that sounds politically
the
correct.
word we're defining is developmentally disabled. We can't use,
Handicap?
well, it says a substantial handicap to the person's ability to function.
You can call them, special populations too.
Special needs?
Special needs.
Special needs, yeah.
Okay, that's good, so we want to, is attributable to special needs? Is that what we want to put there?
That's,
Alright.
That sounds a little better, maybe.
I didn't, when we went through them, we were kind of cruising, and I didn't think.
So obviously, we gotta take out,
Regan, do you think you should put mental or and slash physical in parentheses after it, or do they get the gist of
Well, it
special
says,
needs, you know what I mean?
yeah, and it says developmental disability, and that could be mental or physical,
Right, so maybe,
mostly.
sorry, are we even allowed using the retardation?
no,
Probably not.
no.
So we gotta take out,
We gotta take it out twice.
yeah.
Yep.
And we missed that last time, and I apologize, but we gotta be politically correct.
Let's go to mental challenges.
Intellectual disability. Okay, let's go with the first one, put special needs, and the second one, put intellectually disabled. Is that what it?
Intellectual disability, that's out of the federal register, so
That's good.
That's a government.
That's good, because, when I saw this, they said see legal description, federal legal description, and I thought, you won't wanna look a definition up to look up another
No,
definition, so.
That's right out of it.
That's good.
Intellectual disability.
Alright, man, I'm glad we got that done. Okay, so that's one thing. Okay, if everybody would proceed to page 13, we're gonna start rolling through these. Rich, feel free to ask questions.
I did that last time.
I know.
Till 9 o'clock.
Yeah, no, it's all 8 o'clock.
What's that?
That's
Hey,
overtime.
Regan, do you have another copy of what you guys?
Yeah, right here, this is yours.
Oh, okay.
Put your name on it.
We were supposed to give that to you a little bit ago, but I forgot.
I said it there and forgot. Yes. Also, Tony, feel free to interject also.
It's our intellectual disability.
I think it's mine, evidently, that's why you won't let me in the group.
What's your version of it? You probably can't say it here.
Well, the one that's in there.
Moving on.
Alright, lot corner. That's the junction on two intersecting streets, let's leave that alone. Lot coverage, the portion of the lot is covered by any buildings. Seems simple enough. lot depth between the right-of-way line of the street and the rear lot line, okay? Lot double frontage, a lot having frontage on two non-intersecting streets. I gotta think about that.
That's kind of confusing if you think about it,
Yeah, that doesn't,
because a corner lot's gonna have two intersecting streets.
right, and then, well,
Yeah, this says non-intersecting.
Oh,
what, yeah, so what if you have two parallel streets, but no
Right.
through street?
That's,
So you got
I don't
frontage
think
on
you need
both,
to change it. I think it's right.
that's what this is talking about.
Yeah. Right.
Parallel streets,
Yeah.
okay. Lot frontage, the width of the lot shall never be less than the required road frontage to the building line. Okay, I need somebody to explain that one to me. The width,
there's the setback from the road, is that what they're talking about?
no,
Just frontage on,
It's just the-
width of the lot
Right.
shall never be less than required road
do we have road frontage
so
defined?
they're probably, they're just kinda looking at it, required road frontage, never to be less.
frontage.
No.
Required road frontage could be 50 feet.
Let's-
Right.
We don't.
We don't have anything for road frontage, unless I'm missing a page, should be on page 15.
Not there.
Nope.
A lot shall never be less.
Do we have a requirement for frontage for a lot?
What was that amended?
We,
I don't know.
there is a requirement, but we actually gave an option. It's customary.
Customary.
Yeah, one guy caught us on about 2 years ago. So we made a change with an asterisk, that it is 40 feet, alright? But some of these, like Faro, it's at 25.
Mm-hmm.
So we did 40 with an asterisk up there to let people know that when they were like in R1 or something like that, it was supposed to be 40, but an asterisk would, they could go down and say, if the area has 25 feet, then it could be 25 feet. Because we don't want to get something that's way off, be customary down the road, looks good, looks better.
But do we need, this definition in here?
The frontage,
Yeah.
well, you know what?
If it's not anywhere else in the book, like I know, just off the top of my head, North Canton City, to build a house in the city, there's still some lots there, you need 100 foot of frontage. So, yeah, I know, a lot size, 100 by
But
2.
this is just a definition, right? So
Right.
All it really should say is front of the property,
Are you talking
front of the
depth?
property to the road.
What's-
No, width.
The width of the lot, I think what it's saying is, this should never be that smaller than what it costs from the frontage of the house to the road, is that what they're saying? Is that what that reads or not?
It's a definition for lot frontage. What's the frontage? What is frontage?
It's the
It's-
street side,
Exactly.
the width of the street side.
Right, it's correct, we're thinking about a setback, we're getting those two things.
Yeah, we're getting them mixed up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So if the road frontage is 25, the lot can't be less than 25, is that what that,
that setback.
is that
is
basically what the
25.
read, is that what it means or not?
Setback is 40 to what's customary.
It's not defining what it is, it's defining what does lot frontage mean?
Okay.
It is the
It's
land.
just-
from
It's
the
not
front
basing it
door of
on
your
what they
house
want
to
to
the
read
road.
is, yeah, I
So
got
like
you.
what you're saying is there's 100 feet in North Canton,
Yeah.
so
Width.
that should be never less than 100 feet. Like, let's say we had our requirement as
Right.
100 feet, you can't have 90 feet, otherwise,
That's what I was reading,
Yeah,
it can't be
that's
smaller
what I
than,
got.
it
That's
can't
you're
be
saying-
less
you're
than what the
saying
frontage,
the
you
frontage
can't have a
is
lot
from your
less
front door to
than
the
50
street.
feet, if the
Definition, what
frontage
is lot frontage?
from the street is 50 feet.
50 feet,
That's
right.
it, I got you, that's what I think it reads too.
When you're talking about frontage, if the layman doesn't know what frontage is, you tell him, it's from your front door to the street that it faces, that is a lot frontage.
There was
Doesn't-
something wrong.
Setbacks and everything else is different, that's
Different.
back further.
Yeah.
We talked about something in here not too long ago on the frontage, and it was something like on this, you gotta be 50 feet wide. But then it turned around, and I said, I don't know if I was talking to you about it, but it has to be like 100 where the house sits. So we had this, a lot like this. That's what it was reading, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you get that all the time on cul-de-sacs.
Yeah, pie-shaped lots and.
I mean, I've seen 20 feet on cul-de-sacs.
Well,
Just
look
doesn't
at
get a driveway.
Look at a flag lot. A flag lot and you only have the driveway.
Yeah.
That's
And
what
then
I'm
the
saying.
lot's back there, where's the frontage? Is the frontage from the house to the street? Okay, see, I'm reading that wrong. When I thought frontage, I'm thinking the width, cause the
Yeah,
first thing it
because
says
it's
is
setback.
width.
See, I don't know where they came up with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, don't get
That
those two
width.
put together.
Right, setback.
Yeah. I'm getting
Setback is
mixed
from the
up.
road to
Because
the
lot
house.
width is a totally different thing.
Setback
Right.
from the lot line to the back.
On a pie-shaped
Right.
parallelogram,
Right,
a lot
Frontage
width is
is
determined by
what
the
you
mean.
see in the
by
front, and
So
that's
the
what
average.
Yeah,
the
okay,
county requires.
so
It's
All
it's
right.
two
2 feet
different
minimum.
things.
I see.
Somebody threw in something there, I don't know what they're trying to fix, but.
Do we need to change this to anything? Should it just say from
I think
the
it's just
building,
confusing enough, or.
building to the, right of way?
From the front door to the street, I mean, that's whatever it faces.
Front
that's
door to
your
the
front.
street is setback.
Right.
What's that?
That, he's saying that's setback.
That's
That's
setback.
setback, that's not the same thing.
Frontage is
That's not
everything.
frontage.
That you
Pin to
see.
pin in the front,
Mm-hmm,
that's frontage,
mm-hmm.
okay?
What makes it frontage?
What makes it frontage? Well,
Faces a street.
I don't know where they came up with that.
I don't even-
You know, it's like I said, you gotta have 50 minimum up front,
From the house to the street or from?
parallel to the street,
Oh, parallel,
alright?
yes,
That's frontage,
right.
okay?
So that makes sense then, the way it reads.
That's
It's
right.
really-
Basically, you're saying it can't be 40.
Right,
If the required is
If it's
50, the lot
50,
frontage can't
yeah,
be
it can't
40.
be
That's so
40.
basically the way it reads.
yeah, that's the way
makes
that's the way I
sense.
got it.
That's kind of what I got too.
Yeah, it would have to be a lot parallel to street.
But then it has to be an asterisk, like you were saying, for a pie-shaped scenario.
I think you should
Yes,
take
it's
off,
really weird.
I think you should take off to the building line. The rest of it makes sense to me. The width of the lot shall never be less than required road frontage. Blank, done.
Yeah,
What's a
Width
required
of the
road
lot
frontage?
shall never be less.
50 feet,
well, we don't need to put that in here, cause
That's
that's not
count.
part of the definition.
I say we scrap the whole thing.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's confusing as heck. I don't get it, and I'm a builder.
I thought they were trying to define, just for the layman, that's the
I'm not
frontage,
sure.
that's the back of the
I think
property,
the-
side property, we got all,
Shall never be
everything
less
covered
than
but
required
frontage,
road
I thought
frontage.
they were
That's
just
an
gonna explain.
automatic.
Front of the
Yeah.
house to the road is
To the
considered
building
frontage.
line is not.
you know what you could use, you could put
It gets into lot
frontage and
lines,
then put
Yeah,
lot line.
county
here.
definition.
Maybe we don't need it at all, I don't know.
CORC.
Yeah, because, well, it's a county thing, just put on their county definition. And then it'll be, what's that mean, county definition? I say, well, they got a definition now.
Yeah, look it up to the county.
Yeah, leave it up to the county.
Defer to the county.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
See county definition.
But they're kinda like the ones that said this is the way it's supposed to be. With their, comprehensive 2024 plan.
So the width of the lot should never be less than the required road frontage. And then in parentheses, see county definition of road frontage, is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying, get it out.
So let's
And
take
get rid
Richard's
of to the
advice
building line and just put
Just,
that in.
just scratch.
yeah, scratch
Scratch the
out
rest
to the
of it.
building line.
and
Yeah,
see
that's what I found.
county definition.
I backed it up.
That was confusing, I gotta
Yeah.
tell
We
you.
are in agreement with that?
Yep, that's what we're doing. Also, at the last meeting, we decided not to make motions on this, we're just gonna discuss it. At the end of the day tonight, maybe we'll say, let's make a motion that we approve these changes, because we're all agreeing to them right now. We're not gonna vote every definition.
Don't motion to send it to the county.
Right, we're not gonna do that, we're gonna motion to make these changes,
Except is written.
accept, yeah,
As
that's
soon
it.
as Sandy gets it
Right,
changed over for you, then say,
right.
the next meeting says
And the
send it.
minutes, she printed up from the last meeting, she has all those changes that we made last meeting, but we're gonna change one more on page 10.
You got a year.
Okay. All right, let's skip over to lot interior, a lot other than a corner lot. Okay, that makes sense. Lot lines, property lines defining the limits of a lot. Lot line front. and then it should say to which it is addressed, not to. Which is addressed. A line separating the lot from the street on which it fronts and to which it is addressed. Okay, alright, lot line rear, line opposite and most distant from the front line. That makes sense. Side. Okay,
Like it?
lot of record. That makes sense. Manufacturer, making something from raw or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, boy, this is probably gonna take a while, yeah. Manufactured home. Let loan?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, that was easier than I thought. It just was a lot of reading.
Yeah.
We're gonna let that alone.
Now on this, I know we kinda talked about this before, but the tiny homes,
Believe it or not, I don't think that's in here, but we did talk about it before, you're right.
Should be added.
Yeah, we were supposed to add it, and it's one of those things that had slipped through the cracks. We did talk about tiny homes, and we made an amendment for it, for a definition of it. It's not in here, but it's like Airbnb, we made that, but it's not in here. Cause the amendments didn't get put in the book, that's what we're trying to catch this. And I'm glad you brought that up, we're gonna make sure and look that up. Manufactured home park. It says that if you sell a tract of land and it's subdivided into individual lots but are for sale, is not a home park.
Yeah, cause those lots are rented.
Right. I guess that's something that is supposed to be,
Yeah, cause as soon as you take out,
cause you're buying the lot like you're buying a lot for the house. So that's not a park. Okay.
aren't you renting the lot?
Most
Yeah.
parks you rent.
You're renting.
Well, that's what it says, that it's called a park if you rent it, so if you
Yeah.
buy it, it's not a manufactured home park, even if there's 3 of them on there.
Right.
If the people each own their own
Yeah,
tract,
yeah.
then it's not a park. Okay, microbrewery, brew pub, craft brewery,
That's good, we used to add it.
yeah, we just added that a couple of years ago. Page 14. Hey, might get to go see the Cavs tonight after all. Minerals. Okay, everybody down with that?
Yep.
Doesn't include coal, peat, or topsoil. Okay,
what about oil? Not one that's mentioned in there, isn't that a mineral?
I don't think so. Is it?
no, minerals should be in a solid state. Or not, liquid.
You can put
How do they,
minerals out
how do
of
they go
oil.
about that with mineral
Put
rights,
minerals out of
because
oil.
everything under that, including oil, would be a mineral.
Right, I understand, even gas is a mineral, right?
Yeah.
Oil-
But our
oil's a
definition says solid state. You see that in there? Solid state, third
Oh,
line.
yeah, okay,
So let's just let it at that.
okay.
We'll see if we find something about oil and gas somewhere else.
Oil's under energy,
Okay,
that's why they don't put it in minerals, minerals is something that forms,
it's a solid,
yeah, a solid.
an ore.
It has a scaffolding type look, if you look underneath the microscope, and then in little shapes, and that. Oils does not, it's a liquid energy, that's the way you ought to put it.
Okay, we're gonna keep minerals the same, mini warehouse. I have a question about dead storage, that doesn't sound right.
Dead storage.
Cold, how about let's put cold storage?
Cold storage. It says dead. I got some bodies back here.
Hey, we might, you never know around here.
Let's change that to cold, cause dead does not sound good. Not politically correct or anything, it just sounds silly. Minimum building setback line. Line parallel to the street right away, at a distance there from.
I like it.
Okay,
That's right.
everybody good with it? Larry?
Yep.
Alright. Mobile home. This is where we talked about,
Tiny homes right here.
yeah, tiny homes are defined as mobile homes between 80 and 320. Okay, so we dumped it in there.
Yeah.
It's in there.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm happy. Everybody like mobile home?
Yep.
Motel. With or without cooking facilities, overnight, tourist or transit. We, did away with, last week, lodges and, there was something else in that, but another thing that we didn't like was courtyards. They said they defined courtyards and we got rid of that. What's an auto court and a tourist court? Do we need that in there? Is that a thing?
Is that a parking, does that mean a parking lot? Auto court, is that like another word for, or?
That's like 1950s.
Yeah, but we don't.
Yeah, exactly, like Davenport for a couch?
Yeah.
If you have a bed, you didn't have another one.
I still.
Yeah, I mean, do we wanna, I mean, it says a garage or parking space conveniently located to each unit.
So we end it right there.
Yeah,
Get
just,
rid of the rest of it.
yeah, that's just silly. It sounds, like you said, it sounds like the 50s. We're gonna have TV dinners with
Hey, whoa.
it.
I'll hit up some Salisbury steak now, don't be judging.
Okay, mulch processing operation. That's fine with me, anybody?
Yeah, I think it looks good.
Alright, non-conforming use. That definition seems straightforward, doesn't it?
Yep.
Let alone open space. Why is that in there?
Open space?
Yeah, do we need open space?
What's the def?
It's a whole paragraph.
The required portion
Leisure.
of the lot, which is unoccupied by principal or accessory buildings.
Measurements.
Open space, that would be, like backyard, you're only allowed to use 30% of it. But there has to be an open space in the back.
So if I have a backyard and I fill it with let's say I have a building or a backyard that's 100 square feet, 50 by, or, no, that's not it, 1,000 square feet, 50 by 20. And I wanna build a building 4,000 square feet or something, I can't, well, I can't do that, but I mean, 50% of it, I can't do that.
You're only allowed to cover 30% of your backyard with something.
So it can't be,
Okay, so then we need to
22
keep
by
open
22,
space.
it has to be
Against
under
her
20 by
That's
20.
fine.
Okay,
I don't know why they got
Yeah.
lost.
Yeah, something like that.
yeah, I think some of this, the dimensions are getting a little dicey here.
And then the 4'6", cause I think I had this happen a few years back, is 4'6" is, so if you have a balcony hanging out, that means one direction, it can only be 15 foot 4 inches. Cause the other 4'6" makes it 20 feet.
20 feet.
I've had an overhang on somebody's property one time that was hanging too close, and the guy made us go back through and rip the gutter off and tear the roof back and cut the overhang back 5 inches. Oh, in the township, this was 20 some years ago, but that's what that means. So like, if you're building a garage
Oh, okay.
and your overhang's sticking out and it's too close to the limit for the lot line,
Yeah.
that's counted, even though it's not from the ground over, it's counted if it hangs out like this. So that's what that bottom portion I think means is, if you had a 4'6" deck coming off of it, that means that counts as your overall 20 for one direction.
Okay, so we'll leave it there, it just started getting, I shouldn't say they, it was probably me too.
I was there.
Yeah, it was they, those guys, I'm telling you. Outdoor advertising sign, billboard. Wow. Thing whatsoever. It's not only a billboard, it's any sign, right?
That's permanently affixed.
That's what I'm
Right.
getting.
On the exterior of the building,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
That's a long one there.
That is a long one. Do you have any problems with outdoor signs, Jeff? Other than, my favorite thing in the world was, I think I mentioned this last, like Thanksgiving. I pulled up to the intersection of Mies and Paris, and I sat there at the stop sign and counted 19 signs. For mosquitoes and realty and,
On the ground and nailed to the
Some.
telephone posts and all that, right on the four corners right
Yep.
there, everywhere like that.
but I don't see them anymore. They've taken a lot of them down. The mosquito authority, I see a couple here and there, and I think, well, this isn't a good time for them to be
I
advertising,
think,
but,
you know what, this is what the deal is, you call up, you find out who's putting them out.
yeah.
You call the number on the thing, say, hey, I'll give you 2 days and you gotta get them out of here.
Really?
And they do, and then there's actually, they outsource the whole thing. And the girl told me, she said, we come by around 2 AM in the morning, we just on the back of a truck, bang, they run down. And you tell them, look, you can't do this, and that's all you gotta do, you gotta call them people up.
Yeah, cause, they made an article in the paper about it, and they said, telephone poles and things like that, that's against the law.
Mhm.
Those utility companies don't want those on there.
And we don't handle anything on certain property,
Mm-hmm.
you know, we're not gonna go out and,
On private property.
yeah, we don't do poles.
Mm-hmm.
And then I talk to the county, any county roads? You know?
Yeah, and I don't mind, like if you're gonna have a garage sale and put one up at the intersection, garage sale, but take it down.
Take it down when you're done.
Yeah, saw one here for 2 months.
Well, I think this is a pretty good
I
definition.
do too, it covers a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says everything on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I must have did that.
Wow.
Outdoor wood burning furnace. This one I definitely remember.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that was a
I
stinker,
bet.
wasn't it?
Mhm.
But we're gonna leave it go.
Yep.
That okay?
Yep.
Brent?
Might as well now. What's the difference now, huh? Might as well.
Yeah, I know. Our neighbor got-
Should we call it should you put the clause in there?
No, no clause.
No clause. that's it.
Overburden.
You wanna move on, Hunter?
Sleeping
Yeah,
dogs lie.
yeah, let alone. Okay, makes sense. Page 15. I got a question before we go on, and this is totally unrelated. No, it's nothing bad. The train derailment in East Palestine, I wanna know if anybody knows the answer to this. They have a news conference, I watched it yesterday, Governor DeWine had a news conference, and they have excavated 8 foot deep, like 10 foot wide, both sides of that track, to clear the dirty soil.
Mhm.
And they asked the guy from EPA, he was on Zoom at the meeting, and he said, yeah, we dug it up. And they said, what are you doing with it? He said, well, we got it on plastic tarps. And then he said, it'll be gone through and checked, and then it'll be disposed of. And I'm like, where?
Either hazardous
So,
waste dump
yeah,
that
so
has
there's-
special lines.
There is places.
Oh, yeah, we send.
I figured they're going down to Waynesburg.
No, no.
That would qualify if you've ever been back there. Some of it's
They do-
pretty
they-
hazardous.
There's hazardous waste.
There's
dumps.
places?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cause
Yeah,
I'm like,
they do the same thing, even for, like, where you have a fuel tank
yeah,
and there's leakage,
yeah,
they bring it up, and it makes no sense to me, because
They
they're putting
bring
it on
it up.
tarps, and the
Yeah.
tarps get, it gets rained on,
yeah. And he says, oh no, when
It's
it
not-
gets rained
not
on, we
completely
cover, we
covered. It's
build
not
dams
concealed.
around it.
What they do is they take it to a place that's got a bottom on, they can't let water get to it. Water will take it down in the
Just like
soil.
his gas
Right.
example.
Alright,
Uh-huh.
so what they do is they take it somewhere, sometimes they will leave it on,
Dissipate in the air.
Yeah, so we can breathe it.
Okay.
the sun will pull that stuff up, keep flipping it until it's gone. Sometimes they'll send it through a furnace and burn it out of it.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I
took
wonder, cause the
environmental
EPA guy
college,
said, we're gonna dispose of it. I'm like,
Yeah, there's.
Where?
there's
Not
places-
there.
They got everybody whipped into a frenzy though about the water and all of that stuff, you know what I mean? I shouldn't say, I mean, I haven't really looked at it, but boy, they're out there, they got.
they're having a town hall meeting
Scared
tonight.
to death about it.
I
And,
wouldn't drink that water.
Norfolk and
So-
stuff.
Oh, not there, but they're saying even
Yeah.
all the way,
Oh,
you see
yeah.
the one path line they
It's
showed,
been
Larry, that was almost down into the
Yeah.
Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah.
They're saying, don't, yeah, they showed this one swath on there that's like the water line or whatever, I'm like,
Yeah,
They
Everybody
killed like
wants this.
3,500 fish,
yeah.
3,500 fish, but
Yeah.
you know, the thing of that is, and not necessarily on the railroad side of it, so when we order salt, the salt cars are owned by the salt company.
mhm.
So,
Of the railroad,
of the railroad.
okay,
So each individual, like, the Borax comes in on a Rio Tinto car.
Mhm.
Each one of the Rio Tinto car, is owned by Rio Tinto.
mhm,
Northern Suffolk's just own it.
Hmm.
So, you know, you kinda think about that, you know, everybody is all ticked off at Northern Suffolk,
Right,
but who owns the car? Who did the maintenance on the car?
mhm.
You know, because it seems like there's bearings that are being questioned now.
But they don't say anything about that.
They won't tell you anything about that.
Nope.
So, you know, the lawsuits, by the time this is said and done with, it's gonna get long and deep.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but,
Really?
you know, like I said, I mean, you can tell a salt car that comes into our plant,
I can't think of the kid. Anyways, there's a.
it's the worst looking car on the face of planet, you know, I mean, it's all rusted out, it doesn't even look like it should be on the track, but that's what it is, you know, they come out of Canada and, you know, same way with the Borax part of it, you know, it takes, all the Borax cars are all under feed up, but those go from here back to Boron, California, and it takes 3 weeks for a car to make a round trip, roughly. And it's just kinda interesting, but,
It is.
you know, nobody really looks at who owns the cars.
Mhm.
You know, everybody's always pushing blame on the Northern Suffolk, but all they're doing is towing it down the road,
Exactly.
you know?
probably because they're trying to blame somebody with the deeper pockets.
Oh, yeah.
So I would just
They're having a
assume
meeting
the
tonight.
Norfolk Southern probably,
They're
Oh,
having
yeah.
a meeting,
For
a
no
town hall
reason.
meeting,
Sure.
and,
which is dirty cool.
Oh, yeah.
Norfolk and Southern isn't coming. They said that we got too many threats, we're not coming, but they have lawyers from all over the country that came into East Palestine representing people that have a sore throat or
Oh, I
can't
know.
breathe.
That's what I said, it's a hot mess.
Yeah.
Then, I saw somebody arguing today that people with wells are gonna be the worst affected. I'm
Yeah.
like, evidently you don't own a well and you don't realize that it's not a waterway line, it's a rainwater, you know,
Yeah.
wells are underground fed by
Yeah.
rainwater and stuff, so,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
The dude was going to bat at it.
All right, here we go.
Well,
I'm
I'm
sorry I
sorry
brought
about
that
that.
up, but it was interesting, cause he said they gotta dispose of it, and I was like, how? Okay, parking lot. That seems pretty cut and dry. Heat. And repeat, no. Okay, that's good. Personal services. Okay, is that, I don't wanna get into this, but I'm going to, is massage. Is that in there? Okay, we'll leave it out. Principal building, okay. Public building,
I don't know why 4 Chinese massage parlors are open tomorrow.
yep, they're coming in. Public buildings, public utility. That makes sense, we don't have to do anything with that. Recycling transfer. Do we have to have transfer, or can we just say recycling station? Does it matter?
There's transfer locations.
Yeah, that's to be
there's-
transferred.
Yeah, there's.
Oh, okay,
Comes
okay,
in
so it
and
does
leaves.
matter.
You gotta be careful on your words on that.
Alright, we're gonna leave transfer in there. Residential facility. Okay. And that's in the revised code too, so we don't have to do anything with that. Restaurant.
Is that still politically correct.
Yes, developmentally disability, and we have that, that's a definition
Okay.
we worked on.
Alright,
We can't say mentally retarded.
right.
Establish which is located building.
Should be good.
Now let's see what's
Okay.
happening.
Roadside stand. That's also an ORC, let it alone.
Mhm.
Everybody good with that?
Yep.
Satellite dishes,
Thing of the past now.
There you go.
I say we just leave it in there, cause it doesn't sound, doesn't hurt anything.
Yeah.
There, when we,
Well,
I don't know if you guys remember this or not, but when I started on this board, they were 10-foot diagonal.
I was gonna say, that's what Earth Station must mean, is the ones that used to see way out in the side yard that looked
Yeah.
like Sputnik
Well, and
was gonna
I
land
still
on
think
it.
we still need to leave that in there,
Yep.
because,
Yep.
you know, now we have Starlink,
Yeah,
you know, all that stuff's coming,
yep,
you know, might as well leave it.
but that's, I know that's why we put it in there, cause those things were huge when they first started. And that's been 20 or 30 years ago, sign. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
small wind energy system. There again, I remember doing this, so this was a lot. Remember that, this was a 6-month project.
Yep.
I say leave it alone, we worked too hard on it, I don't see any problems with it. And that's a small wind energy system, there's a big one too, that's a turbine. Spoil bank.
That's gonna be coming with a overburden. No.
No? Okay, storage. I think that's fine.
Depository, what's that though? Storage can mean storing a car, storing
Well,
home
the
items.
depository would be the building.
Okay, what
That's
you're
it.
putting it into.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
okay.
So, sorry.
And there again, it says feedstocks and we're getting close to agriculture there.
No, feedstock could be anything in any.
Okay,
Yeah.
alright. I don't wanna step on agricultural toes. A portion of a building included surface of the next one. Okay.
That's fine.
Anything with the half story? Street collector. A collector street. What is that?
Like a side substance.
You know what that is?
Like a,
Somebody provides Collector Street.
Yeah.
could it just be a side street?
Is that for the purpose of like rerouting somebody if there's doing something on the main street, is that?
Major arteries.
And local streets and direct access to abutting property. I think Brent's got us just a side street. Just a side street. I mean, do we have to say collector? I don't know that term, or I don't know.
What
that.
about alley?
Unless that's something.
Would that be?
Let's read the other ones, the other street ones to see what they say, maybe that will kinda contradict the other one. Or just let it go.
But if we don't need it in there, we'll just
Yeah.
Isn't that
wipe
saying
it
that,
out, yeah, I mean.
hold on, a street providing traffic movement between the major
Private,
arterials
public,
and
right
local
of way.
streets? Isn't it
Basically
kinda,
says the same thing that we have in our definition.
That's probably where we got it.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it is.
Isn't that, if you have two properties adjoining each other, that one street here, one street here, but you can move in between both, I'm guessing.
No,
That's the way it reads to me.
Basically, in this definition, it says low capacity, which means you probably can't take, oversized loads and things, but you could use it as a substitute for main arteries. It says the same thing online, so
do we need it?
I don't know.
Do we
Is
need
that for the
liquor
purpose
street?
of detours, you mean, Jeff? Is that, or am I reading it like that? Is that what that says for like,
It's just a lower capacity road. It's like our
Side streets.
side streets out in the country out here, so.
I would
I
almost
don't know
take
why
it.
it's in there. I don't know.
I don't either.
Does it matter?
No, we're trying to streamline though, that's all. I mean, we're editing and trying to make it so that it's easier for somebody to read. If I opened this book up and looked up Collector Street, I don't know why I would, but, I still wouldn't know what it is.
Is detour in there?
I think it's the same as public street. I think we can get rid of this collector whole thing together and just rely on the public street. Cause if it's a side street, it's still a public street. Maybe,
Maybe it's detour.
maybe not.
that's what I was wondering.
Maybe it could be a private side street.
I think it's, if you have like an accident, maybe it's a detour street, you know what I mean, to.
To collect traffic that would normally go through that main street, but going around it if there's an accident.
Yeah.
That seems to maybe make sense too, worded that way.
Cause you don't have detour street in there anywhere, right?
No,
Then that must be what it is. Detour.
Detour, let's just change that.
What's that got to do with our zoning?
yeah. I mean, it's a public street, what's it got to do with zoning? That's not land use.
No. Yeah, we don't deal with streets.
Mm-mm.
Then just leave it.
All right,
I mean,
leave it.
It's
Done.
nostalgia.
leave it for Jamie.
Here we go.
I'm sure he'll love us.
Yeah. Arterial Major Street,
I say we jump over all the streets since we don't deal with streets.
I like it. I second that.
No motion.
You guys like that? Go to,
Yeah, I mean, they list the private street
Yeah.
in here, so.
I'm gonna have to look that up when I get
I'd say
home.
you're good.
all right, strip mining,
It's stupid.
that's good.
5 minutes.
Structure,
Well, reading this is, some of the stuff is set up so that people can't understand it even. I mean, for, granted, I mean, it's like reading your
I think
insurance
that's
policy.
all right.
okay,
For your homeowners.
page 17.
Can't understand.
Hey, where's another page? I thought there were only seven. Oh, okay. You got 1.5 more pages, guys, plenty of time to do this, structure, alterations. Okay, that makes sense. I say leave that one alone.
Yep.
Surface mining. Okay, it's just a definition, doesn't say we're allowing it, it says it's defining it. Swimming pool family.
Yep, good.
We worked on this.
Yep,
for a
we
while,
worked,
too.
yeah, we did, you guys all remember these, and that's when we changed it to commercial and family.
Commercial's good too.
Alright, thoroughfare, street or alley,
Good.
okay? Topsoil. Yep,
Those all seem so.
topsoil remover, well, this is stupid,
What's it say?
removal of topsoil. Topsoil removal, the
Take that
definition
out.
is removal of topsoil.
Scratch that.
Yeah, what,
That violates the definition rule, right?
yeah,
Well, you gotta be careful.
I was gonna say, do we wanna do that? I would say leave it.
it's just saying the same thing, it's, the definition is,
I get it. but,
Yeah.
I mean,
It's like having the placement of topsoil above it.
well, what you do is you take and you place topsoil on it.
And then you,
Alright, tourist dwelling,
yeah, I don't know. I just think we ought to leave that.
topsoil removal,
Yeah.
I would,
And the reason I say that is because you know what's gonna happen.
well, yeah, but
And
if,
it's probably gonna happen over there off of Broadway. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm just
Yeah.
throwing it out there.
well, I'm willing to leave topsoil removal if we can define it better.
But again, you can't, unless you call it strip mining, you can't
Right.
Right.
deter somebody from taking.
The topsoil off,
They're allowed to sell it.
Is it for residential purposes and not
Any.
commercial purposes, or any?
Any.
Any, it doesn't matter?
it
Well,
doesn't,
this
it
is
doesn't
just-
specify.
This is just a definition, but
Yeah.
I'm just trying to rationalize where we're gonna use it in the book.
But that's why I'm saying, if you leave it,
Topsoil I use for feeds. Topsoil, there's like about, 6 different levels of soil,
Mm-hmm,
yeah,
and topsoil is that organic.
right,
They call it the A.
right.
right,
Yeah, and that's the only thing, think about it, and if you break below that A, then you're going into, strip mining. You would say something like that.
Okay, so topsoil removal, the removal of the organic material type.
Soil.
you can't say remove.
Well,
Well, just take
I mean,
the top
yeah, just
soil
take
and
the top one.
say removal
You could say something
of
like
superficial soil capable of sustaining, blah, 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 just move that down and say.
I'm saying, yeah, removal of ordinarily rich in organic matter or humus debris.
That is excellent.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's what we wanna do.
Yeah,
Okay,
Alright, reword that.
so
Say it again.
we're gonna keep topsoil removal in, but to define it. And this was my sticking point.
say,
We don't wanna use topsoil, so we'll use
The definition of
Superficial,
it.
yeah.
Superficial,
Yeah.
remove all
Yeah.
that.
removal
That
of
makes sense.
ordinarily
No,
rich.
no, can't say remove.
Alright,
You're getting it, you're close,
right.
but you can't say removal if you.
Dispersal.
Extraction of.
Extraction.
There you go.
There you go.
Yes.
See, we work together on
Yeah.
this. Extraction of,
See topsoil.
see topsoil.
Of the
Oh,
organic.
Yeah.
There you go.
Intellectual
definition for
disabilities,
topsoil
fellas.
above.
Intellectual disabilities, fellas.
Mhm.
Science.
See topsoil.
See topsoil, but don't say topsoil.
See above.
See, you can't use the definition in the definition.
No. Organic
Okay.
rich materials.
Alright, we're gonna pass over that now, cause we got it hashed out. Tourist dwelling. That's fine. Anybody?
Airbnb and bed and breakfast is what that addresses, right?
Yeah,
Any dwelling.
And
Yeah.
Vertical.
including Airbnb.
There's a lot of it.
I don't think we need to put that in there.
No, I mean, that covers all that,
It's,
right?
yeah, it's all encompassed.
Encompassed in one,
There you
okay.
go.
I don't like the overnight part, because they could do that during the day too. Doesn't have anything to do with overnight, does it?
True. They could be, yeah,
We're talking about Steve's Motel.
Whoa,
a dwelling
What
where.
I'm saying
that's where
though,
they take over a house for a party or something like
Yeah.
that.
people will stay,
Oh.
people will go to a place to stay during the day just to get rest, because they're working
We
at
just need
night.
to,
So it doesn't make any difference.
we just need to extract overnight then. A dwelling
That's
Yeah,
what I'm
where,
just
saying.
say
Just the
accommodations.
overnight part.
Yep,
Yeah.
good job.
good job, Rich.
Nice pickup.
Yeah, Rich.
Alright. Tractor trailer semi.
Don't have anything.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so it's alright.
Everybody good with that? Trailer?
Trailer we worked on too.
Read this one close,
It says you can sleep in it.
Sleep about anywhere.
Yeah, I can sleep in it anywhere. I can sleep here.
like it's alright.
I think it's good.
It's okay?
Yeah.
Alright, trustees, leave that alone. I'm not touching that one, it's that full type A family
Yeah.
daycare.
George Kiko.
They say 10 acres.
Just put George in there.
It's being
Fire.
recorded, fellas. Type A family daycare, the numbers that are provided in here, 7 to 12.
That's from the state.
Yep, we talked about this last time, that's all state run, we're not gonna change that. I don't know, I'm gonna leave it in there.
Yep.
But we're not,
What do they say for A?
type A is 7 to 12.
So that's just, occupancy?
Hmm.
Yeah, but that is, more, local. The B is the one where you go to the state. There's
1 to
more
6.
regulation.
Mhm.
Type B is, yeah, 1 to 6.
Type B is 1 to 6. All right, we're leaving both of those because they are governed by Ohio, regulated, that's it. The purpose for which a building is uses. Yeah, uses covered, understood, other name. All right. Good, with use? It continues on the next page, but I'm still good with it.
Yeah.
Variance. I think that's an excellent definition,
I
because
agree.
it says in the last
That's about as
sentence,
good as you could word it, it seems like.
unnecessary, undue hardship. And I hope that the board, the BZA understands that.
Might have to underline it.
Yeah, we should underline it. Veterinarian hospital, bold.
Like it,
Yep. Yard. Open
open
space.
space.
Same lot of the building. Okay. Front,
Looks alright.
front yard, rear yard,
Kind of like frontage. Yeah.
side yard. Ooh, I told you about that. Zoning districts. Zoning. Yeah, zoning certificate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you have one on page 10 or something, Regan, you said you wanted to go back to, or did you do?
We did that first, that was, mental retardation.
Okay, I thought you said there was one other one in there.
It was in there twice.
Oh,
In the
okay.
same definition, it was in there twice. And we changed one of them to, I forget, but we changed both of them to different things. One of them was intellectual.
Special needs and
Yeah, special needs.
intellectual disability.
Yep, we changed both of them. Okay, before we leave, we gotta do a couple things. One is I make a motion that we, give these to Sandy and have her type them up. Everybody read them. What she did with the last time was she went pretty much piecemeal and went over, oops, that's the wrong one. She went over every definition, wrote it down if there was changes or not.
That will be in the, in our file.
Okay,
That one there. Okay, and then some of the stuff will be taken out because it's just overreading. But then there's topics in there and stuff, but you can get back onto the website and look them up, that will be on the,
you'll have to sign that one, that's a minute from last one.
Oh, here it is.
we have to have access to people that wanna read it.
So the changes are on the website.
Yeah, the changes,
Temporary changes. I mean,
Yeah.
permanent.
like I said, for you guys, what you're gonna sign off on is gonna be a little easier to read.
Right.
Instead of having 10 pages, the 10
Right.
pages will be on the website.
Back to her. Rich, did you, read the minutes from last?
Yeah.
Okay, and you're okay with them? Okay, Larry and me and Rich were here and did that first 10 or 12 pages, whatever it was. This is from January 4th. And everybody was here but her and Tony. Okay. This is the minutes from Wednesday, January 4th. I make a motion to approve the minutes.
I second it.
Okay. Sign that too. That's gonna change. I think she did. No, that's not right. Okay, that's right. He can sign that one. Yep. You can sign this one. Right? Sign that, we'll turn that back in. Unfortunately, we're gonna get another one of these folders next meeting. It'll have from page 18 to 26 or whatever, and we'll go through that. Now, we're getting into the, meat of the stuff. The definitions, I thought, went pretty smooth, other than it took time. But the rest of it is gonna be a lot of other stuff. What is it? That's blank, by the way. Establishment of districts, that should be easy. Okay. Yeah, we'll try to do 10 at least. But we have to have this done this year, that's all, I mean, that's, we're keeping the book this year, and then next year we'll do that. I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. We have, a meeting at